the realization about my own neurodivergence came about when it would have come about for quite a lot of people, is during lockdown. So during lockdown, I noticed when I was on Zoom meetings, I found it I mean, everyone found it very exhausting, but I realized I could see myself and how much I fidgeted and how much I moved about. Was one thing that I discovered. Um, Also, my children, so watching my children and how they work, and seeing, so my daughter, she's also ADHD, which we've had that diagnosis in the last year, but kind of reading up about it from her point of view and realizing that actually these are things that I've always done my whole life. Then a really good friend of mine, Nicola Jane Little, she actually went and got herself diagnosed and literally came back and almost threw the papers at me. Oh my God, this is you, this is you. And to begin with, initially, because I think a lot of people have this, is ADHD has that stigma of it, oh, it's the naughty schoolboy that bounces around the classroom. So I didn't identify with that at all. But once I started doing my own research and reading up about it, all these light bulb moments started to happen, and realizing that, okay, this is why these things have happened. I didn't do the traditional way of learning, education wise. I kind of went in a very um, uh, different route to what some people would do. Looking at my school reports, so my mum, who's 90, but I think is probably also ADHD, had kept all of my school reports. So when this was happening, I was 48, 49, when I was discovering all this. And actually, when you read my school reports now with that different lens that I now have, so I've done all this research and I found out, all these things. I read my school reports, and it was why there were so many red flags in it. Why did nobody pick up on this? But it was back in the 1980s when ADHD wasn't even a thing. They didn't know about it, but it was that, attention to detail. Moira doesn't concentrate. Moira talks too much. If only Moira turned the exam paper over, she'd have realised there was another question on the other side of the page. So lots of things that were absolute, red lights now, but weren't picked up on at that time. So it was very much a slow progression for the ADHD diagnosis. Also, I've always struggled with numbers, and so I've always been told that I'm just not trying hard enough when it comes to numbers, and actually I found out that I'm dyscalculic, so that is like number dyslexia. So numbers, I will think a number, and then when I say the number, a different number comes out, or similarly writing it down, I'll get numbers mixed up. They'll um, transpose each other. I struggle to remember my left and right. I'm not too bad at reading maps, but I can't. I have to use a sat nav. I can't go somewhere without having my sat nav on. So little things like that. And then also I'm a little bit dyslexic as well. So if you can be a little bit or a lot. So it's been quite a journey the last few years. So from 2020 to 2023, I found out that I'm these three different neurodivergent types. So I just think differently.